I look at so many knives all the time, especially knives in the self-defense world, and there's just one design in particular that totally baffles me to the point to where I don't even understand it. Some of these companies make such amazing blades, and why they would produce something like these that we're going to talk about in this video just doesn't make any sense to me. Stick around. There's something I want to say at the very start of this video, and that is, I understand that different people are in different situations and different people have to work with different things at different times depending upon their resources and availability of materials. And there may be times where someone needs to make a knife really fast or make a piercing object really fast, and it may not come with all the bells and whistles or be able to. But that's a different situation than what I want to talk about in this video. The audience that I'm talking to in this topic are those who are actually shopping knives and looking for the right everyday carry. And the one knife that I really want to tell you to steer clear of are self-defense knives that do not have good hand protection. And the reason why I have to make a video about this kind of knife is because I have seen so many designs out there that are super attractive. When you don't have to put a hand guard on a blade, you can come up with all kinds of really cool, sleek looking designs, and they are very attractive. And I have seen a number of them that I've thought, man, that knife looks really cool. And then I got my hands on the knife and I was like, what's it gonna be like using this thing if I'm in a situation and I have to defend myself and I come in contact with bone? And what I'm going to show you now is a few designs that I think look really cool, but I would encourage you not to buy them if your intention is to defend yourself. What I'm not doing in this video is attacking these companies or their credibility, because I know that all of them have amazing designs as well. It's just this particular model that I don't see any point in. Let's look at these three examples here. This is the Tanto knife, or Tanto, however you want to pronounce it, from Holley Edge. It's a beautiful knife. It's a D2 blade, and it has the most razor edge you've ever seen. This is the CRKT Sting here, and this is the CRKT Shrill. Now I want you to look at all of these, and they have one particular thing in common, and that is not a lot, if any, reinforcement for the hand, especially in traditional grip or traditional side thrust. The unfortunate thing they have in common is they are very attractive to the eye for many. Here's the sheaths that these knives come with. This is just one that hangs off your side. It's very loose. This Sting here actually has a cool sheath, in my opinion. You can mount this Velcro strap horizontally to your belt, and it fits nicely, and it does have a good carry option. And of course, this I'm not a big fan of. It just comes right out of there. You can do pocket carry, boot carry, and all of that kind of stuff. And just because something's a boot knife don't mean it's safe to use. The second thing I don't like with these types of designs is limitation. Why would you want any limitation if you're spending money on a blade? You ought to be able to fight traditional or in reverse grip. You shouldn't be just limited to reverse grip, because I'm telling you, as sharp as this is, I'm not fighting in traditional grip with this knife. This jimping is not enough to encourage me to be confident enough to fight like this. I'm pretty much limited to this with this kind of knife, because you know, if you get into something serious and you jam against something, your hand can easily go down this blade. Not only are you going to be trying to protect yourself, but you're now going to be dealing with a hand that's been sliced wide open. And the Shrill doesn't even have a place for your thumb. I encouraged people in my last review of this to maybe grind this piece off just so you could have a place to rest your thumb if you had this. So this is very limited. And the Sting, even as much as I like it, there's just no reinforcement this way. My hand is coming down this blade too easily. These little notches are not enough to keep your hand in place. You know, they are better than nothing, but it's just not very safe. And again, I'm limited to this type of grip, but why should I be limited for anything I'm paying for? If I'm trying to escape a dangerous situation and I don't have anything and I'm able to take a piece of metal that's made like this or something similar, then I got to do what I got to do. But people are paying money for these things. This is the Smith & Wesson HRT, and this is what it looks like for you to be able to do everything. This is what it looks like to have reinforcement for your hand. You can still do reverse grip, but you're safe using this. If you jam into something solid, your hand will not slide down this blade. Now, you don't have to get something this big, but you want to look for this kind of design if you're into this kind of blade. I think Cold Steel's got some smaller ones like the leather neck that you could choose from that's got some protection for your hand. The bottom line is this: don't get anything that's going to compromise your safety. It might look cool, it might be stylish, man, it might even have a good sheath, which is hard to find. It's hard to find good carry options, but when the rubber meets the road and you have to use this, you want to make sure your hand is secure. There's also knives like the Counterattack from Cold Steel, and they've got the Mini Counterattack as well. I know double-edged blades are great, and they've got more advantages than most combat knives. But do keep in mind as well that in many areas, these things are illegal. You can't carry them. You really need to know your state laws if you're going to carry a double-edged blade that you're willing to use if you get attacked. Because there's a lot of knives that you can choose from to defend yourself. And I say, always have a knife. But if you're ever in a situation, it's going to be much better having used something that was legal to use and have in the first place. So in conclusion, don't be fooled by looks, my friends. There's a lot of knives out there that look really cool, but if it don't protect your hands, it's not for you. And you shouldn't have to be limited to one particular style of knife defense if you're going to spend money on a blade. I'd like to end with a question. What knives very similar to these have you purchased in the past that you realize, man, I could never use that. That wouldn't be safe. What knives are just sitting around in your collection because you know that in a real life situation, they wouldn't be safe? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. As always, thank you for watching and take care.